Hey there, my squids! You know what it is, you know what the heck is going on. It is your boy, Sham Wow Dude, and I am back today to showcase the 9 motorcycle riders you will meet. It's been a minute since I offended all of the fragile male motorcyclist egos with the honed acuteness of my wit, so I am back to bring the heat. It is 2023. That is absolutely crazy. So the painfully cliched motorcycle stereotypes have evolved since I first made this video 6 years ago, and it is my honor, my duty, my sacred lineage to drop this hitter in your feed today. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll bleed from the tips of your fingers into your gaming keyboard while you exclaim, "You got it all wrong, Yammy, that's not what it's like to ride an SV650, but believe me, that is exactly what it's like. And if you think otherwise, you need to see your psychiatrist and get them up to a dose of your anti-schizoid medication. Good thing you already keep that box of tissues handy near your PC because you very well may need them today. So without further ado, here are the 9 motorcycle riders you will meet in 2023. Let's go. So we all know the Supermoto guy. It's pretty obvious. Supermoto guy is kind of like an elite tier street squid whose proclivity for doing wheelies does not outweigh their ability to shred lap times at the local golf cart track. The Supermoto guy will spend thousands to convert a race spec dirt bike into a street legal Supermoto just so he can absolutely destroy dual sports that are powered by lumpy EPA regulated thumpers that make about as much power as a Harbor Freight Predator engine. But what makes the Supermoto guy look like an absolutely bike night beta are the teenagers on dirt bikes that ride balance point wheelies on city streets one block after another, sometimes on electric motorcycles like Surons. If you have the privilege of living in certain urban areas that tend to host a particular flavor of illegal group rides, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There will be roving packs of 16-year-olds on 450cc dirt bikes or Surons wearing German-style half helmets on top of balaclavas, absolutely tearing it up. And these are like real dirt bikes, no catted up exhaust, no headlights, no mirrors, no turn signals, ridden by actual legally defined children. Amongst these dirt bike stunt riders will be the guy in a wife beater tank top and no helmet doing a hand drag wheelie on a utility quad. While I am a proponent of safe and responsible riding, a feeling of childlike wonder awakens in me when I see a group of 24 unlicensed and unregistered dirt bikes riding in the street, doing better wheelies than even the most seasoned Jixter squid. Now, the next motorcyclist you'll likely meet is the Spec Sheet Weeaboo. He's the guy who takes being a spec sheet warrior to a deeper, more emotionally disturbed level. While this guy typically spends most of his time in his mother's basement, which he refers to as his apartment, where he lives with his girlfriend, which is actually just a hentai body pillow, his waifu, if you will, he does every once in a while show his pimpled face in the daylight just to ruin everyone else's fun, and to likely show off the new fedora he just got. There are anime stickers not only in his profile picture, but on his bike too. Guaranteed. If you're excited about your new bike or mention how you'd like to add a different bike to your stable, this guy will be very quick to tell you about a different bike that makes 3 more horsepower or weighs half a pound less. His inability to feel actual human emotions makes his default form of communication the senseless regurgitation of facts and data. Like, we get it, bro, you were in the STEM program in high school. Your experience in AP Physics must come really in handy as a full-time Reddit moderator. This guy is truly insufferable to be around, and the absolute kicker is that he rides an SV650. Well, actually, the SV650 offers an absolutely impeccable value-driven package of both accessible power and usability. Additionally, I promised my waifu Daikamura to not spend too many yen on a motorcycle, as she wants to go to Kyoto for our honeymoon post-haste. The Spec Sheet Warrior Weeaboo is also a compulsive liar, lying about the most random stuff for zero reason. He'll say something like, "My great aunt actually received cunnilingus from Steve McQueen on the edge of the Great Escape," right after saying, "I don't think I'd actually even want the Ducati Street Fighter if I won the Yami Noob giveaway. It's just so ostentatious, you know. My SV650 really is the perfect bike for me. I'd just sell the Street Fighter." The third rider I want to talk about today is the newest iteration of the motorcycle content creator. Motorcycles have been the subject of countless content creators over the years. I've seen them come and go, ladies and gentlemen, but your yam is infinite. I've been here. You cannot destroy me. I'm unkillable. Motor vloggers, reviewers, list makers, some better than others. Some people like to stare at the dash of a Z650 while they listen to the rider complain about everything that's wrong with motorcycling today. Some people might, I don't know, I don't like watching that stuff, but I will say that content, quote unquote, especially short form content in the vein of your average Instagram or TikTok motorcycle influencer is pretty low hanging fruit right now. Whether that's your thing or not isn't even the point of the video. If you too want to make $7 per 600,000 views you get on a video, frickin' go for it, my man. But the video is about riders you'll meet. And in 2023, motorcycle content creator in the wild is often one of the most cringe and dystopian experiences. But not me, baby. No, not me. If you see me, there's nothing cringe or dystopian about your yam. But other people, 100%. There is nothing as unsettling as the shameless candor of a content creator recording themselves in the midst of a genuine social gathering, espousing the merits of Raid Shadow Legends. Hey, my fellow two-wheel junkies, if you're anything like me after a long day in the saddle, I love coming home to relax with a little Raid Shadow Legends. This isn't your average mobile game. By the way, this is not sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Jesus Christ, guys, you wouldn't think I'd do that, right? But that would be a good product pitch, right? Nice little segue. Like, look, I get it. I'm in the business of motorcycle content, but we shoot in a studio or at a press event or in this weird little basement I have where I shoot my list videos and talk into the microphone. Like, if I'm out on my desert sled getting a sandwich, I'm not going to force everyone around me to watch me talking to a camera about the merits of the New Dawn Easy Squeeze dish soap bottles. Also, I do a lot of riding and I don't really film it, which surprises a lot of people. I was just at CMRA the other day and doing some endurance racing, and they're like, where's your crew? Where's your cameras? And I'm like, I'm just here to enjoy myself. Is that allowed? I'm also not going to walk up to a group of riders on the street with a camera and ask them what their body count is. In 2023, the overly candid motorcycle content creator is definitely an unavoidable rider stereotype. If you're lucky enough to be able to ride motorcycles in another country, or if you run into other riders from other countries here in America, you're likely to meet the overseas small displacement rider. This rider is continuously perplexed, fascinated, and likely jealous of how fast and loose American motorcycle culture is. We live in a pretty globalized world. George Soros made sure of that, where many trends transcend borders. Something Chinese TikTok taking everything over. But something that will likely never expand globally is the need, the right to ride a super sport motorcycle on the street with zero experience. And until that day comes, you will continue to be gassed up by, say, a rider from India who looks at what we consider to be entry-level motorcycles with esteem and praise. For instance, he'll see your Ninja 400 with his eyes wide open, mouth slightly ajar, stupefied by his proximity to such a powerful machine. How much horsepower does it make, he'll say. And you'll say, about 38 to the wheel if I can get my hands on race fuel. And he'll say, wow, you guys are so lucky to have such powerful motorcycles here. And that will be the only time someone eulogizes your Ninja 400 in a genuine way. The other side of the same coin is a rider from a similar area where motorcycles are mostly small economical transportation who will be appalled and disgusted by the hubris of American riders who think they are entitled to such powerful machines. They'll praise their Meteor 350 or Duke 200 and say that is all the power they will ever need, and anything more is unnecessary and downright dangerous, as I blast away on the Turbo Busa, saying, maybe race gas and 350 at the wheel could be nice. As if navigating stray cows on the road with your family of four riding on the back of your motorcycle is completely safe and normal. I'm just going to call the next rider on the list the rich asshole. You know the type, he's got the highest spec Ducati Panigale or BMW M1000RR. He smells like the fragrance counter at Macy's, and he doesn't tip when he orders an Americano at the coffee shop. The rich asshole only talks with other rich asshole friends that ride equally expensive motorcycles. They all wear branded gear like a Ducati riding jacket or sunglasses. Absolutely insufferable. But their gear is spotless. Not a single insect carcass or rock chip on their helmet. Their riding boots don't have a single crease, like they've been walking around flat-footed for the sneakerhead that doesn't want to crease his prized Jordans. It's almost like the rich asshole doesn't even really ride. They just show up to a bar where all the recent young divorcees hang out and look for their next cash cow. And the rich asshole moniker doesn't discriminate. Sometimes they are a Euro snob that rides Ducatis or a BMW, or sometimes they're just a good old-fashioned American patriotic capitalist that paid $50,000 for a Harley CVO Road Glide. Again, those are $52,000 for that bike. The only necessary factor is that they are rich and they are an asshole. You're also bound to meet the overly eager rule follower. You can refer to this guy as the biker boy scout. He may be anywhere from a week to 2 years out of the MSF course, but he held on to every word his rider coach told him as they handed down his practical skills test waiver. At GAT. Scat! The biker boy scout forgot about the implied rebellious nature of riding motorcycles. It's supposed to be kind of dangerous. It's supposed to be fun. What the hell is going on with these people? He'll see a sport bike rider speed up to pass a car on the 2-lane road and say, that's a pretty fast bike. Sure hope the cops keep an eye out for him. It's hard to tell why this guy got into motorcycles to begin with because it sure wasn't having any fun. If he sees anyone do a wheelie, he'll be quick to mention all the possible ways in which that rider could get into trouble. Yeah, you might think that's cool now, but wait until you loop out and a car runs over your body and you die. Do you think I'm gonna enjoy making that call to your mother? We get it. Come on, it's all dangerous. This overly eager rule follower is more excited to talk about the gear that they purchase instead of the bike that they ride. So these gloves are made of 100% kangaroo leather, and they are the strongest gloves on the planet. Fucking RIP kangaroos, man. He says all the cliche safety catchphrases as if he invented it themselves. Dress for the slide, not for the ride, or it's not if you crash, it's when. He thinks an SV650 is too powerful for a beginner. Yeah, the CBR 300R is a pretty fast bike. I wish it had ride modes and traction control because sometimes I wish I could dial back the power a little bit. This guy has a conniption when he finds out your bike doesn't have ABS. This guy leaves comments on YouTube videos of people lane splitting saying how he saved their license plate number and will be reporting it to the authorities. He says it's people like you that give us a bad name as riders when you don't come to a complete stop when you have the right of way at a stop sign. If the Boy Scout sees a group of stunt riders, he'll say, yeah, I sure hope the police crack down on that type of behavior. This used to be a nice place to raise a family. And there are plenty of motorcycle street squids on the road, but the unsung hero of the fast boys is the street bike Sigma male, a stark contrast to the alpha chads of motorcycling. This guy is a very skilled rider, has a modestly priced utilitarian leader bike, like an early model Gixxer 1000 or an R1 that is meticulously maintained and cared for instead of constantly pursuing newer or faster bikes. He does the occasional track day riding, but just prefers to hit his local twisty roads early in the morning so he can spend more time with his wife instead of dedicating his entire weekend to getting out on the track. Can't relate. He has been riding for long enough to know when it's safe and appropriate to push it a little hard on a twisty road. He wears proper gear that meets all safety ratings but isn't particularly brand loyal and doesn't really care too much about whether his helmet costs $300 or $1,000. He likes to ride motorcycles just because he likes it, not to satisfy some reptilian-brained near-death adrenaline rush or need to prove his father wrong. He doesn't endlessly talk about his glory days, recanting 186-mile-per-hour top speed runs on the freeway or grandiose escapes from the police like the alphas of the community. He just rides well, enjoys motorcycling as it should be, and doesn't ruin the fun for anyone else. He'll likely start on the group ride with other riders before diverting off on his own when the squid peacocking becomes unbearable, and likely doing a little Irish goodbye when the time comes. While the alphas are out at bike night in the pursuit of vanity, the street bike Sigma goes monk mode so he can build and come back greater than before. Inside every street bike Sigma, there are two wolves, and they just won't stop having sex with each other. Neo-retro is all the rage. It means nothing and everything at the same time, and as more neo-retro bikes are released, the more cemented in society neo-retro riders become. It seems like there are less and less cursed cafe bikes than ever these days, thank God, but the teenager who bought the CB550 for $500 10 years ago is now a creative director at a startup in Austin, Texas. He dresses like Bob Dylan and rides a Triumph Bonneville or a Sportster or Ducati Scrambler. These guys have a strong understanding of appropriate brand language and are really good at convincing everyone how amazing their motorcycles are. But it's not about the specs or the value proposition. Those are capitalist words, man. We don't talk like that here, man. It's the ethereal feeling that a bike gives you, man. It's about what evokes in your soul. It's like what I say as my job as a creative director. Vrbo isn't just about providing you the most streamlined vacation rental experiences. It's about making memories with your family, man. And also not sharing homes with strangers. Vrbo doesn't like that for some reason, and I saw an ad about that and that was really weird. They'll say things like the Sportster isn't going fast or handling well. It's about reminding me how my dad would hit me every time I reached for my sister's Barbie instead of my G.I. Joe. And the last rider you'll meet is the criminal. A lot of the times, if you're out and seeing other motorcycles, you'll give a nod, give the bike a wave, and just generally acknowledge your kinship. But when you see the criminal bikers, this is when you look the other way as to not be an accessory to a crime. The criminal rider will usually be amongst other riders of the same lifestyle. The first sign is how their bikes are parked. They'll be parked on a sidewalk in a handicap spot or maybe even just pulled right up to a bar's patio dining area. They're bikers. They've earned the right to park illegally. They are always outside standing around, smoking, yelling, drinking. Why do you go out of your way to go to a bar if you're going to spend the whole time in the parking lot loitering around your motorcycles? The criminal rider doesn't have any gear, usually not even a helmet. They'll have dirty work clothes on like they just came from the construction site where they were either building the foundation for a new mixed-use live-work community or burying a body. Hard to say. There will likely usually be leather wearing in these circles, and I'm not saying these are criminals like organized Sons of Anarchy criminals, but just generally paid criminals and the types of people you probably shouldn't associate with if you ever want to hold a position of public office. The criminal bikers crash, usually a drunk asshole, defensive, probably a little racist, and probably wants to fight you because you ride a sport bike. So there you have it, an updated list of 9 motorcycle riders you'll meet in 2023. Which rider are you? Which rider did I forget? Do you have the tracking number for your waifu anime pillow? Fact, the letter R was sometimes historically referred to as the littera canina, or canine letter. In Latin, the way speakers trilled the R was said to resemble a growling dog. Goodbye.
Keep watching Anime News.